Round 1. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 259th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We're powered by ATEBIT.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the Holly to my Dottie, my podcast Ride or Die. You can find her on them socials at Miss Ellie Hart. Miss Ellie Hart, how the bloody hell are you?
I'm doing good. I'm going to be nasally, listeners. I do apologize. We got seasonal changes over here and I'm suffering. So heads up.
just an FYI. The next 60 minutes plus will be the Ellie nasally experience. But you know what? Some people out there, they love it. They love a good character change.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, special guest appearance, Sinus Sally.
The boys agree very strongly, as you can tell. Yeah. Hey, to hell with them. We will keep this show rolling. So yeah, as I alluded to with that intro, we've both been dabbling. I've only been playing for a hot minute with Benny, but I know you've also been experiencing Turtle Rock's recent return to the zombie genre. And we've been playing a bit of Back for Blood, Miss Hart.
Yeah, like I know I kind of expressed kind of vague interest in it because to me, I was like, it's another horde mode zombie game. I kind of played this kind of thing before. So I was mild interest in it. But my husband actually loaded it up and he started playing it. And then he's like, oh, do you want to play this too? And I'm like, yeah, but I'll obviously play it. Because I didn't have access to Game Pass on PC. Mm-hmm. So we ended up just buying it just for this so we could play together co-op. And I'm a little obsessed now. It's actually quite fun.
It's really good. Hey, it does feel slightly cheap at times, but at the same time, the game is intense. The formula that you're experiencing in this loop of, going from safe house to safe house and doing certain things along the way and getting overwhelmed by the undead. There is so many things coming at you at once, but it's I think it executes a lot of the things that Left 4 Dead did, but better. It's got a bit more of a reliance on sort of the team mechanic where you're sharing ammo and healing people more and making sure you've got certain things in your tool bag where someone's got, the toolkit to do the unlocking. Maybe someone's got the defibrillator to bring you back. So you need to have really good team compositions to make sure you can get through this next wave of nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it's true. And considering so we were obviously, a co-op of 2, and then we would actually have random people join us. At first I was really scared about that. I'm like, oh no, they're going to hate us because we don't know what we're doing. But I think we with most of the random people that kind of joined in the game, we worked really, really well. And I don't ever put voice chat on, so there was still this great kind of level of communication through their ping system, as well as just the average kind of squat dance that you kind of do to each other to acknowledge each other. So I'm really surprised. I usually get quite daunted by the fact of having to do co-op and working together as a team with randoms, but didn't really have a bad experience with this.
Yeah, Benny and I were squatted up and we had randoms for our runs as well. We had some good people like you did, but then we also had, I don't know if they were a duo as well, but they were kind of dickish. They were grabbing everything. They were just running off all the time. That's sort of, I think, the third mission in the first act where you've got to sort of pull down this chain to get this generator thing going, and then waves of all the undead come. They had the minigun and they sort of parked it so far away from everything that it was just irrelevant. And once you put this thing down, you can't move it. And then they just kept running off. So there'd be just groups of enemies coming at you and we're shooting them together. Like, oh, it's too spicy, see us. And then like Benny and I'd get downed. They wouldn't come try and pick us up. So it was very frustrating with those two peeps. But the other guys that we were rolling Rift with before and after that were really good and they were helpful and pinging stuff like the LB or the L1 or whatever it is on keyboard and mouse. That ping system's really great where you can ping items, you can ping enemies coming. So you really get a good idea of what's happening. And it's just good, crazy, heart-racing fun, this game.
Yeah. And like I was genuinely surprised at how quickly big bosses, like really big bosses, kind of got into the mix like early on in the game, especially in the first like set of levels. There's that giant,
that big ogre. Yeah,
he like literally scared me because I'm like, oh yeah, he can't fit in the, like, he can't get into the tunnel. And so I was sitting behind the fence, like kind of like, I'm safe here, I'm good, because I picked Holly, if you hadn't guessed by Brendan's mention at the start. So she's mostly melee.
With her big spiked baseball bat.
Love it. I love just running like head on into the zombie horde and just swing, and it's so much fun. But because he was so big, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go behind this, like, you know, grate, like that's, you know, blocking off the tunnel. I'll be safe here. Next minute, he's just like grabs it and just pulls it. I'm like, oh, I screamed. That's great. I am so pleasantly surprised how much fun I actually had with it. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of motion sickness, so I need to figure out what's triggering that. But like that's the downfall. Oh, and figuring out the card system. There was a bit there where I was trying to understand like what the card system was and like how it was implemented, and figuring out like, oh, something I choose affects the team. I thought it affected it legit just me, and I was like doubling up every round on the stamina, so
which you need for the melee, which I found out because I was rolling Holly as well, and swinging that baseball bat's awesome, but you got about
takes it out
5-6 swings in you, and then you suck it in the big ones. So if you can get a bit of a stamina buff, you can keep going and keep cracking skulls. But without it, you start, get a slow lethargic like swing because you got no energy in the tank.
Yeah, but I was pretty blessed. Like I kept with the shotgun as well, which was the other standard gun she gets. And I got pretty lucky with getting a lot of upgrades to the shotgun, and it's pretty useful with some of the big bads, especially hitting them in their little weak spots. So I am still kind of like running with what I was kind of given with the upgrades.
I'm excited to play some more today. Benny already messaged me this morning. He's like, hey, your podcast this morning, see what Ali and Pedro are doing today, see if they want to roll out as a full squad. And I'm like, I will ask the question. I didn't know I was going to ask it live on air, but I'm asking the question now. But it's really fun. Like I like the leveling up as far as weapons you find throughout the missions, but then also I like in the safe house you can get in the shop and use the credits you earn during that little run to buy new guns, to buy new upgrades, to buy things that's going to help the squad. So it's really cool in that regard, where you can constantly adjust your playstyle, where you go from a shotgun to a SMG to a sniper to a whatever. There's so many guns that you find everywhere, and you can really tweak how you want to play on the fly. The resource sharing's great, where you can toss ammo and health packs to people. That's really good because you do run out of bullets fairly regularly, or at least I did. So there's always a fight for the certain types of rounds or caliber of bullet, but it's good fun. I'm looking forward to trying to unlock all the other characters and some of the weapons that you can get, and then the skins. And then, because some of the skins look sick.
Yeah. It's probably the one thing that I'm like kind of like still a bit on the fence about, is that kind of I've forgotten what they refer to it as, but it's this like
the supply lines.
Yeah, the way that you unlock all that new gear and extra cards and everything, and how they do it. Like you earn the supply like crates or points, and then you've got to kind of follow these lines of unlocking individual things. It's not like you get to specifically say, I want that one thing, I'll build up to get the points so I can unlock it. It's like it just comes if it comes kind of thing.
Which is not ideal, but it's still great for us. Xbox users, having it on Game Pass is awesome. Means we didn't have to drop any cash on this game to play it. And the fact that it's cross-platform with everything. So you can play with PlayStation friends, PC friends, Xbox friends. You've just got to obviously share your unique ID, your Brendan 8-bit hashtag, whatever the numbers are, as these games are doing these days. And then you can jump on and squad up with everybody, which is awesome because that'll, I think, really give this game a little bit of longevity where you're not just, okay, Xbox people only, PlayStation people only. You can all coexist and mow down the undead together. And I'm looking forward for more of this. It was just good, dumb fun, especially after playing such a big, meaty game with Far Cry 6 the last couple of weeks. Just to jump in this and it's just like, holy shit, this is insane. There's things coming at me from everywhere. Help, I'm dead, I'm down, pick me up. I'm swinging my machete and everything. Like, it's just cool. It's just cool and it's heart-racing stuff.
Yeah, it's the gaming equivalent of like a stupid like action film that you like to watch. Like it's like there's not really substance. I think there is a story that's happening.
Yeah, like I've we sort of been playing through the mainline campaign, but
Same.
I couldn't tell you what's going on. It's just get from point A to point B, get to the safe house, go to the next.
There's like this character called Mum, and I was like shouting at it was a bot. I wasn't shouting at another player. It was when a player didn't load in and it was playing as a bot. And I was just shouting at her because like she kept on dropping everyone ammo except for me. And I'm like, shotgun, come on. And then she was healing everyone else. And I'm like, this bot hates me. So
what have you done to upset Mum?
I don't know. I must have clubbed her in the head with my baseball bat accidentally.
Yeah, luckily at the standard difficulties, friendly fire is off. But like in the higher difficulty levels, you can chunk damage your squad mates too. So if you're trying to play it at a higher level and they walk into crossfire, which happens a lot in this game.
As the melee person, you're constantly running in the crossfire.
Yeah, like you'd be dying from stray bullets from your squad mates often in this game at the higher levels. Yeah. But really fun, really enjoying it. Looking forward to playing some more. Jumped back into a bit of Destiny 2 this week with Benny and Nasi as well, and we went and did. We were trying to think of the name of the sort of the dungeon where it sort of mixes in light and dark requirements for certain parts. Prophecy. There you go. You got it. Nailed it.
I know. Yes. Like you were talking about it, I'm like, we should have looked this up. And then I'm like, no, I remembered it. Yeah. Prophecy.
Yeah. So, we ran the Prophecy dungeon through this past week and also got the Halloween-themed dinosaur armor sets. So I'm a Titan T-Rex now. I needed to get it. Like, is it the best looking?
No.
Probably not. But Daddy needed it. Daddy got it. I'm happy. I don't know when I'm going to go back to Destiny again.
It's funny because I was actually looking forward to the Halloween event, but I kind of loaded in. It was either Tuesday. No, it would have been Wednesday because I went to the gym on Tuesday. So on Wednesday, loaded in. I just checked like all the stuff that's available. I don't think the T-Rex armor looks great. I'm actually kind of disappointed with how it looks. So. But all the other stuff that they've kind of released for the Halloween event, and they've brought back some of the stuff from the past, like that's where I'm going to drop my money. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a sparrow that looks like a spider, and it's got like movable
it's got the
spider
legs on it.
Yeah,
and I love the two witch broom sparrows. You can get the frozen over one with the cat on it, and then just the more traditional broomstick. I think they look awesome too. That's worth dropping some silver or bright dust on.
Yeah, I already dropped bright dust on the cauldron one because that's a group one. Yeah, there's a group emote and any group I was looking at that. So I already dropped money on that. But there's all these other cool things that comes with it. So this Bungie made this Halloween event as a bit of a cash grab, but some of the stuff is cool enough that I'm okay with it. So. Yeah,
and the I can't remember what they were called, the haunted sectors, I think.
Yeah,
where you got to go in and kill like the headless guardians the pumpkin like bosses and stuff. That's really fun to do as well. I really enjoyed getting in there and doing a couple of those. But yeah, I might go back and give it a look. Maybe not. Oh, speaking of coming back and giving it a look, the guard dogs are back in town. You done? The perimeter's secure? You good? Awesome. Oh. All right. So something else I've been doing. Which probably surprises no one that's listened to the last few episodes of The Hungry Gamers. I am further and further down the weeb rabbit hole here. I have binged more anime this week. NBN connected on Tuesday. Huzzah. Awesome times. all the downloading has been occurring since. But I binged both seasons of Konosuba. I binged the standalone season of Sword Oratoria, which is sort of an offshoot to the Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon anime that I mentioned the other day. And I'm halfway through the second season now of Sword Art Online. So I'm in this big, like, fantasy anime binge where it's high fantasy types of stuff. And I can't get enough of this stuff, Miss Hart. I am just consuming it like there's no tomorrow. And now, like, the bugs bit me that much. I'm like, I think I want to maybe sink my teeth into a big MMO. I want to get into some fantasy. So I'm like, do I play Final Fantasy 14?
I saw that post and I'm like, well, we've lost him. Like, respect. Because, like, I know every person that got into Final Fantasy, like, there's like all these like groups of people, right? Where the people that have been hooked onto Final Fantasy 13? No, what is it called?
14.
Final Fantasy 14. They're hooked. That's it. That's all they're playing. Like, they're stuck. And then there's actually a lot of people who have been really sucked into New World and that's all they're playing. And I'm just like, fuck, man. It's like, I think people are just trying to find something that's a good constant in their life. So
yeah, well, I'm torn. No interest in New World.
No interest in New World either.
I'm torn on Final Fantasy 14, which is good because you can download the game for free and play up to level 60. So you can get a good chunk of the game and decide if you like it or not. And it's cross-platform with PlayStation and PC. So I'm like, okay, I know PC players that play. It's free. And then after that, you can buy the Beyond experience for, I think, $60 Australian. So I'm like, you know what? That's not bad. And to get to level 60, I'm assuming that's going to be maybe 15, 20 hours at a minimum. So that's like, okay. The cross-platform thing gets me because I debated Elder Scrolls Online, but it's still gate-kept to Xbox only, PlayStation only, PC only. So there's no way to play together. Where Final Fantasy, I'm like, it's very different. And you've got that cross-play action, and it's popping off. Like, there's new stuff coming out all the time. Yeah. 24 million players are playing this thing now. I saw on the socials this week. So I'm like, maybe Final Fantasy 14 is where I might dip it, especially because it's free. So we could get a chunk of people together and just play this version of it, see what it's like. People drop off, people keep playing, whatever, and it doesn't really cost us anything but time. So I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I'll watch some streams. I'll have a look to see if this is something I might be interested in.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and because I thought, you know what, it'd be good just to get something that you can, like, I know Destiny 2 is sort of that game where you can jump in, smash it a bit, come back later type of thing, and it's, you know, that eternal questing, but I want a bit more of that sort of high fantasy stuff, and I'm like, maybe Final Fantasy 14 is for me, so maybe I'll get that on the download today. Maybe I'll just play Back for Blood and watch more anime. But yeah, I can't stop watching anime, Miss Hart. Sword Art Online, it's been out for a long time. There's 3 seasons of it. And it's of that concept where you're a gamer within a game type of thing. But with, I don't know if you know much about Sword Art Online and how it all goes about. So it's pretty much the initial concept of it that plays out in the first season is it's this huge, big virtual MMO, but every player that's logged into the game, the owner or the creator of the game has locked you in where until the game is beaten and the dungeon and the final boss has killed, you actually physically can't switch out. Like, there's no exit the game. And if you die in the game, you die in real life type of thing. So it's got this sort of high stakesy stuff combined with the high fantasy, combined with a bit of comedy, a bit of romance, all the stuff that ticks my boxes. And yeah, smashed through the first season. I'm halfway through the second season of that. It's so good. Sword Oratoria loved because it's just more of that dungeon stuff that I am just so high on. And then Konosuba's of that same sort of high fantasy, actiony, light comedy, romancy combo that I'm just consuming like there's no one's business. It's my oxygen, this sort of genre and this style of anime and film and gaming, and I can't get enough right now. I got a problem this hard.
It's genuinely hilarious just seeing this this thing that's just bitten you, like the absolute like anime like journey that you've taken. Like, I'm very curious how many of our listeners are very like anime driven, because like probably for them they're loving this because they're probably getting new recommendations and everything like that. Because like I'm off the anime wagon. I've probably been for a while now, so But it's good to see there's so much out there.
And that's the big thing. It's very daunting and very overwhelming. And like, because I've sort of like Food Wars, anyone that's listened, I adored Food Wars. So I also watched Restaurant from Another World this week as well.
NATO used to talk about that one,
which was great. Really, really good. But yeah, there's just so much good stuff out there. So I'm no anime savant by any means, but anyone that's looking for some fun, accessible anime to sort of watch, whether it be in the background or sole focus, all these shows I've mentioned so far, I've been watching them all dubbed. I know purist animators, get your pitchforks and come at me, but like I like to have it on so I can still be on my phone or doing some work or checking an email. Don't get me wrong, subbed is phenomenal, and a lot of the time the voice works better than the dub, but just the way I like to watch things, it's just the way things are. But the dub work is really, really good in those shows, and I can't recommend them enough.
Yeah. Dubbing's gotten like a lot better. I used to be anti it only purely because I think way back in the day when I watched anime seriously, it was always the same people, it was always the same voice actors, and a lot of them had very annoying voices. So it just seemed like the better option was to go subbed.
Yeah.
But the voice acting now is like miles ahead, and there's so much great range and different actors out there now, so I can see that it's probably improved immensely.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Miss Hart, I guess we can do a quick bit of housekeeping before we jump into some news. Obviously, if you wanted to support us monetarily, ko-fi.com/we-are8bit. Tiered subscription levels there, getting you exclusive access to podcasts, to content, to giveaways, and a whole host of other things. If you wanted to get some standalone singular purchases there, you can do that as well. $20 Australian gets you an 8-bit Founders coin shipped anywhere, in the globe. So $20 AUD, and it will find you no matter if you're in Antarctica. I will send that package to Antarctica. Can't guarantee it'll get there in a hasty manner. Australia Post right now is up to shit, but it will get there as soon as it can. And then also, obviously, the Star Wars Family Portrait themed edition of our Family Portrait is available. $50 AUD, get yourself your own custom Star Wars themed avatar, as well as the finished group shot at the end of the year. So you can get in on that as well. Obviously, audiotechnica.com, audiotechnica.com.au to get yourself the best in audio-based equipment. Headphones, microphones, gaming headsets, turntables, you name it, they've got it. Go get it. You need it. And Miss Hart, I guess we could jump across to this now.
This week's news headlines.
The boys are very anti-news.
Go get it.
Apologies, listeners. Like, you probably won't hear many of these sounds, if any, in post. But, yeah, the boys, we've got cabin fever. It's wet and rainy here in Melbourne. We can't go anywhere, so they're on edge. And Miss Hart's holding in a big sneeze.
I am. Continue. It's not coming out.
Okay. First couple little quick hitters. First little shots fired here. Fall Guys, the platform battle royale game developed by Mediatonic and originally published by Devolver Digital, may try to revive a scrapped level concept due to the popularity of Squid Game. So obviously we're talking the red light, green light minigame, may be making its way back to Fall Guys. We are getting so many offshoots of red light, green light in a ton of other games and ton of other just mainstream media, because Squid Game is now officially the most watched thing on Netflix in history, overtaking The Crown, I believe, was the main one that had one of those English royal shows that I could not give a shit about, but the rest of the world can. But yeah, Squid Game is now the king and queen of Netflix, so kudos to everyone involved in that. But yeah, Fall Guys is going to get on that and try and pull a bit of that player base back.
I don't know how many times I heard a lot of people reference Fall Guys when they said that they had watched Squid Game. They're like, oh, it's like Fall Guys. And I'm like, I mean, kinda?
Yeah, it's a game show.
But I like the idea of them saying, like, it's not like they copied. They said that they had... there was an idea that they had previously come up with, but they've run into a few issues into the best way to execute it, in like obviously having your character stay still and, you know, being triggered by the whatever thing is targeting you kind of thing. So but I it'd be good marketing for them. Like, I think maybe by the time that they develop it might be a bit too late. Maybe the hype would be gone, but
it's going to come out just in time for the American version of Squid Game. So it'll be perfect cross marketing. You're
pretty set on that the Yanks will copy this.
Yeah, we'll get a Bradley Cooper Fall Guy skin in the game when it comes out. Get excited.
Watch this space.
But it's not going to be the last time. Like, we're going to see so many Squid Game nods and crossovers and homages to from many games over the coming months. That's for damn sure.
There's like I've seen games that we mentioned last week. I think it was Roblox, which is young kids predominantly play Roblox, right? Mm-hmm. So does that mean a bunch of little kids are playing Squid Game and killing each other and stuff? Okay, all right.
It's one thing that weirds me out a little bit with Roblox, to be honest. I'm not going to name and shame content creators specifically, but that game is, lent and focused towards young kids. And then you see, these grown-ass men on there going on there and playing some of these modes and, mowing down characters repeatedly and talking smack to these characters they're shooting and attacking and whatever else. And it's dude, you're 35. This kid's probably 12. Fuck off, go play something else. That kind of just weirds me out. I know gaming's gaming and all that, but I don't know what it is, but it just really rubs me the wrong way, Miss Hardy. I don't know if that's justified, but it just feels weird to me.
I mean, anyone who plays games like that and just, I don't know, revels in the fact of absolutely destroying people, I don't know, I don't really have anything in the game because I am not great at any game. So I wouldn't understand the benefit, the feeling of destroying people. But I guess it's an ingrained culture, and then young ones watch older people do it, and then they grow up and they want to do it. What did I play? I can't remember what I played the other day, and I got teabagged. And it might have been Destiny. I got teabagged, and I still to this day am shocked that teabagging is still a thing. I honestly
thought it was
going anywhere.
You can't beat a classic, Miss Hart.
But I honestly thought it was just one of those things where it's it has to, right? It's old people do it. People older than me, would do it. In Unreal, I don't know, Unreal Tournament, Call of Duty, first Call of Duty. I'm trying to think the first time I got fucking
Halo would have been the first time I got teabagged. Halo on the Xbox.
I'm thinking Call of Duty 2 or 3 maybe is where I first got teabagged. But I just thought that because it was a specific generation of people who were teabagging, I thought it would just be too old. No one speaks in leet speak anymore, so I just kind of thought we would all be bundled up together in that, and it would just be too old to do. So
it's lit, fam. Everything is weed now, and teabags are timeless, Miss Hart.
Gosh,
I got to say, I hate this Machine Gun Kelly, Megan Fox weed meme thing that's going around this week. I want to rip my eyes out anytime I see a meme circulating when it's I am weed.
Hang on, is this our grumpy old person section? Because I have one more thing that
let's go.
I can't do. Cap.
What do you mean?
Oh, good. Oh, fuck. Okay, cool. Good. The kids, they use the word. The kids, the youth, they say cap. And I think it means no lie, or that's the truth, or that's a lie. It's one of them, right? And they say it just oh, the other day I got McDonald's, no cap.
Ah, okay.
And
I think I might have seen that around the socials, but just not understood it.
Long to figure out what the hell was going on.
I hate this kid speak stuff, Miss Hart. I hate it.
I am officially old, and I think this is one of those turning moments where as you grow older you kind of I think I'm still kind of I'm still connected, I'm still amongst it, I can and then that was the moment, the cap thing, where I was just and I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm off. Yeah. That's it. The gate has been closed. I'm not allowed in the playground anymore.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Come join me in the bleachers, Miss Hart. I get really worked up with the whole poggers thing as well. I hate that one.
Saying
poggers.
It. Yeah.
Oh, saying it, and people just using it in general discussion. Oh my God. Use real words. I know I use slang in some bogan terms here and there, but some of these words and terminologies that get thrown around, like, it's lit fam, no cap, poggers, all this stuff.
Don't you
I'm
dare
like,
say lit.
fuck
That's all this shit.
the
man.
world, Miss Hart. I'm so angry.
No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it because it doesn't even make sense. But you know what I mean. It's not spelt the way you're saying it. There's an SH on the end. You're supposed to be saying it. Anywho.
Yeah.
That's the
What a
end
time
of
to
the
be alive,
8-bit
Miss
old
Hart.
fart section.
What a time to be alive.
I doubt there's anyone that listens to us that is young enough to be offended.
Yeah.
Prove me
do
wrong.
or they do it for the memes or the lols, Miss Hart. They listen to us just to make fun of us on 4chan or something. Is that where the kids are these days? 4chan still?
Kiwi Farm? I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they're over at Reset Era, which we're going to talk about shortly. But the next little quick hitter, Sony, those very nice giving legends over there at Sony, is going to be giving PlayStation Plus members 3 free PSVR games to celebrate the 5th anniversary of PlayStation VR. It's not quite known what the games will be, but they'll be available at no extra charge in November. So in a couple of weeks' time, any PlayStation Plus members, if you are PSVR users, get excited because you're going to get 3 games. In a PlayStation-related blog post, Sony thanked fans and the development community for embracing the platform now that over 500 games and experiences are available. That's a lot. I did not expect it to be that high, Miss Hart.
Yeah.
They also revealed the top 5 most played PlayStation VR games globally. And these are as follows: Rec Room, Beat Saber, PlayStation VR Worlds, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR, and then Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So, some very diverse games there. PlayStation VR Worlds is, funnily enough, the pack-in disc that you get when you buy a PlayStation VR, which is no surprise, and Rec Room. But the other ones are all paid experiences.
Who would have thought the top 9 games are the ones that you get built in? I also love this, 5 years, celebration. Here's some free games. It's like the least we can do. Thank you to everyone that's actually taken on the technology and actually participated enough to still keep it relevant. Yeah, I think people like that deserve a bit of a break because I've always said I think VR is great technology, but it just needs improvement. It's still far behind to being completely inaccessible technology, but unfortunately for technology to improve, it still needs to be invested in. It still needs people to buy into it and kind of help push it along. So yeah, I could not play Skyrim in VR. I know that for sure.
I've tried it. It's the movement takes some getting used to, but it's not a bad experience. It's just very different to what we're familiar with console and PC Skyrim action. But I find it interesting that they haven't named the games you're going to get. Obviously they've got a slew of 500 games and experiences. Are you just going to get 3 throw-in bits of nonsense, or are they going to actually lead in with, here's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, or here's Beat Saber or something? Or is it going to be here's Johnny Tango goes to the shops, or I don't even know if that's a real game, but it sounds like one of these
Johnny
experiences.
Tango goes to the shops, yeah. That would be
Angry
my
people
game.
yell at children, It's just you and me.
Our game, yeah. You just sit on a bench and just watch us talk.
Clint Eastwood's beside us as well.
Yeah. Is VR on console still behind? Because I was thinking about the games that I've seen people actually have fun and kind of mess around in, and I don't know if it's. I've watched people play Phasmophobia in VR, and that's prime scary perfect game to play in VR. But I don't think that's available on PlayStation VR, is it? It's just going to be PC
it's just
VR.
PC. So the PSVR is still sort of in the background, I guess, as far as the power players from a technology perspective, using a Vive and things like that, or an Oculus where you can run it into your PC to get all that grunt and lean off that processing power. That's still the way to go. But PSVR is fine. It's accessible. If you're looking for entry-level VR, PSVR is great. Or you could go the Quest, which I've got as well, which is obviously wireless. It's similar power functionality to a PSVR as far as the resolution and whatnot, but you also got nice controllers with the Quest to play with, and there's tons of games on there. But it's still good fun. It's still, like, as you said, Miss Hart, it's still a little bit gimmicky. It's still, like, it's mainstream, and there's some big games that really elevate VR, but for the most part, you are getting smaller games and experiences, which is still cool because it's a good gateway for people that don't play VR to go, you know what, be Batman or do this experience or do that experience, and just have them just be blown away riding virtual roller coasters or, you know, getting chased by monsters and stuff. It's cool to see. I think that's my favorite part of VR, is watching non-gamers strap a headset on and just have their mind blown still.
Yeah, those always make great videos.
100%. But yeah, 3 games coming your way, PS Plus users, in November. Hopefully those 3 that you get are nice, highly prestigious titles, but we'll find out. When we know, we'll let you know. So get excited if you're looking for an excuse to get your PSVR out again and play it a little bit more, hopefully with some games you don't already own. The next little bit of news: the developer who worked on Metroid Dread does not appear in the credits. As seen on Reset Era, we're talking a lot about Reset Era today, Miss Hart. Spanish gaming website Vandal published an article detailing how Madrid-based Mercury Steam did not list employees who worked on the game for less than 25% of the game's total development time. The article claims the game was in development for 4 years, meaning employees who worked on the game for less than a year were not credited. So this is not only horrible news, but off the back of this, we've seen a lot of other people that work in the development space of video games all coming out saying, hey, I've actually worked on 15, been accredited for 5. I've worked on this, didn't get love for that, so on and so forth. This seems like it's a constant in this industry where the people doing the work aren't getting the love for whatever reason, and it sucks.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I know I read, like, in a lot of Twitter threads from people saying, like people who do the credits or who are responsible for the credits, saying how hard it is sometimes to keep track of people who have involvement and exactly what they have done. But I mean, like, there's also that kind of here with what Mercury Steam said, where they actually had a limitation on how much of the game you worked on it to actually be worthy of credit. I mean, I understand maybe, like, saying, like, oh, if, you know, if someone did the majority of the work in maybe doing graphic design, level design or something like that, and actually getting that, like, placeholder of, like, I am the lead in, like, level design or something like that. But I don't understand if someone even just did, like, a little bit of work of just throwing them in that, like, special thanks area. Like, if you're sitting there kind of balancing on, like, the, you know, edge of, like, did they work enough on this to be, you know, justifiable enough to be in the credits, then just put them in special thanks. Just put them in there. Like,
exactly.
anyone that had any involvement in your game, you know, reaching the, you know, I guess even to the point of being published and playable, like, anyone that had any involvement along that way, you should kind of give them, like, a shout out, I believe, because making a game isn't easy. And, you know, especially with, like, indie games, obviously this isn't, but, like, with indie games, like, any help you can get along the way is appreciated. So just throw people in the special thanks if you're not even certain. Just keep a nice thorough log of who's worked on this game. Write their job title down and just leave it at that. Like, obviously you're going to have a full system for taxation purposes for this game, so you're going to know who's worked on it, and for, you know, I think whatever frequency or period of time is irrelevant. Like, you look at the film industry and you watch them credits and it's like, you know, caterers are listed in there, driver of actor or actress XYZ, like, everybody that's walked on that set for more than 25 seconds is usually in those listings for most films. So yeah, hopefully game devs and pubs take a little bit of time to show more respect to these people. Like, yeah, they might have only worked on this game for 25% of the time, but hell, they could have been responsible for most of the creature or character designs in that period of time. They could have wrote the narrative, you know, whatever it is. Like, don't dismiss them based off X percentage of a game's development cycle as opposed to the caliber of work they're doing. So yeah, be sure to pay respect and love and appreciate everyone that gets involved in these games, because that'd be very soul-crushing to me. Like, if I worked on Metroid Dread and put a lot of time and effort and love into this, and then I rolled credits on it and I'm getting excited to do the screenshot to show my family or whatever, and then I'm not fucking there, I'd be very, very upset. I think the other way that I would look at it, because I'm obviously not 100% knowledgeable on how, the gaming career space kind of works, but if you were a person that was trying to put together a portfolio on what you worked with, I would imagine that just having your name in the credit would be a massive show on like putting it in your portfolio of I've worked in this game, here's me in the credit here. But like I'm sure it'd be like, kind of more impressive by showing that than having to kind of prove that you had involvement with your like portfolio work and files and showing any of that. So
for sure.
Yeah,
like if this becomes a make or break for these people in the dev teams to get further work, and they're like, hey, I worked on a couple of these games. Oh, I didn't see you in the credits, brother. It's like, well, I did. Here's the paycheck. No, I didn't see you in the credits. Like, yeah, you don't want to see this impacting people's careers long term. So, development teams, publisher teams, whoever's responsible for that end credit, thank you. Be better. Give everybody their due and their respect, because their blood, sweat, and tears have gone into working and creating these pieces of art. Yeah. All right, the next bit of news, that same 2 words we've been talking about here for several times in this podcast. We're talking about Reset Era. They got that bag. I've got some words here from Marie Delisandre over at gamesindustry.biz. Esports communities company MOBA Network has officially acquired gaming forum resetera.com for $4.5 million US. Reset Era was founded in 2017 and currently has an average of 60 million page views monthly. The forum has around 55,000 members and 45 million posts. Sales on the site in the 12 months leading up to August 31st amounted to $700,000 US, the announcement said. The team behind Reset Era will continue to operate the forum under this new leadership, with MOBA Network saying it wants to look into ways to increase advertising revenue through a higher share of direct sales, implementation of new ad formats, and a long-term product development strategy. MOBA Network currently owns several esports-focused community websites such as Dotafire.com, Smitefire, and LeagueSpy.net. MOBA Network CEO Bjorn Manikfirst commented, "We are very excited and proud to welcome ResetEra.com, one of the world's largest gaming forum and community brands, to our growing number of brands." Jesus. Fix that, Bjorn. Reset Era has great growth potential, and we see significant opportunities to develop ResetEra.com, continue to grow traffic flows, improve the sales development, and extract synergies within the MOBA group, end quote. So, this is just MOBA Network just hitching all their wagons, getting all those communities, getting all those members, and getting as many eyes on these targeted marketing campaigns as possible.
Yeah.
There is nothing, like, I know businesses need to make money and they do it via way of advertising and putting splash ads and all those things on their websites, but there's nothing less appealing to me when I'm scrolling a website and I've got ad upon ad upon ad and pop up and this and that. I want to get out of there quick smart. I don't want to sit there and make this an ecosystem and interact with people, so they need to sort of find that balance for people like myself, where if I'm just getting shit thrown down my throat repeatedly and I just want to read this article, it's like, no, you got to click there, you got to go there, there's a pop-up here, it's like, no, fuck off, I'm done, I'm finding it somewhere else. So balance will be key, MOBA Network and Reset Era, but they got the bags, who cares?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, is that I've never seen a more depressing incentive of what their intention of acquiring Reset Era, of increased advertising revenue. That's like, I haven't been to Reset Era directly recently, so I'm not too sure how inundated they are already with advertisements, but like you said, like sometimes you just get inundated with it's either pop-ups or just like an overload of advertisements where it takes up a predominant amount of screen space. So it deters you. It absolutely deters you from actually accessing. And then sometimes when a site has a lot of advertising and a lot of pop-up and all the other bull crap, sometimes it really ruins the experiences and like hinders load times and all that sort of kind of like stuff that happens in the back end. So I don't know. I feel bad for community members if they see a horrible change, like a negative change to their experience, especially something that they've been a part of for quite some time, and they would have themselves built a community within there. So I guess time will tell to see exactly how much of a change will occur.
be interesting. Like, it's good to see the people behind Reset Era getting paid for their hard work of building this thing over the last 4 years. Like, I used to infrequently check it out because you do see a lot of news articles popping up on there and a lot of leaks and rumors and things like that. But, yeah, just settle down with your advertising and stuff. I do run a few like ad blockers and stuff on my browser just to make it a little less angry. But some of them still make it through and still just slap me in the face with all kinds of things that I could not care about.
Yeah.
But kudos to everyone involved and, yeah, MOBA Network just gobbling up them community-based websites one by one by one.
Ooh.
Something that I think a few more people would probably care about is this next announcement. And we had a Nintendo Direct Animal Crossing that broadcast over the last 12 hours, not even, 10 hours, 9 hours. What is it? It's 10 a.m. now. I think it kicked off at 12:30, 1 a.m., something like that.
Yeah, it was like
It
7
happened
a.m. my
today.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened today at time of recording. And yeah, it's the biggest announcement they've had for Animal Crossing New Horizons. And so New Horizons' first premium DLC expansion, Happy Home Paradise, puts players to work as architects and interior decorators building dream getaways for the island's Paradise Planning Development Company. Players will be interviewing their NPC clientele, determining their decoration preferences, and building a home to satisfy their whims.
Yeah.
Tucked into this news of Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise was also learned the pricing of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack that the company announced back in September. That will be $49.99 annually or $79.99 for a family plan. We're talking US dollars right there. Subscribers will get the Happy Home Paradise DLC with said membership. The expansion pack also includes several Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games. September's Direct was none too subtle in teasing that the Roost Cafe would open up in New Horizons Museum. Along with the fan favorite Pigeon Barista, players will see the return of the shanty crooning Cap'n, the fortune teller Katrina, and look, they even found a gig for hairstylist Harriet. She's doing hair on Harv's hippie commune island. Version 2.0 is the last major content update for Animal Crossing New Horizons. The new items will decorate both the interior and exterior, including 9 new fences and an increase in the cap on bridges and inclines. Inside, players can put up accent walls. Storage will also expand to accommodate the new options. The turn of gyroid collecting, even if the Roost hasn't housed a gyro display since 2008's Animal Crossing City Folk. Gyroids can play music and can be customized to match home decor. Plus, they can be planted and grown to create even more gyroids. Gyroid? When I say that word, it sounds like I'm saying it wrong, but that's the way you pronounce it.
I always said gyroid, yeah. So.
Gyroid. All right, back to the last chunk of this article here from Polygon. Players will also be able to lead community stretching exercises by setting a boombox down in front of the resident services building and punching play. That begins a minigame in which players can use their Joy-Cons to join the exercises, moving them to and fro a la Wii Fit. If you're more into carb loading, like myself, the Be a Chef DIY Recipes Plus item purchasable with Nook Miles opens up a slew of baked goods and other tasty treats to cook and eat. Plus, Froggy Chair in all caps thrown in there by Miss Hart. So Miss Hart, we've got Animal Crossing first premium DLC, Happy Home Paradise, announced. It's purchasable. It's the biggest piece of content for this game to date. It's the last major piece of content, but it looks like they've jam-packed a ton of things to do and get excited for. Are you back on the island train, Miss Hart? Are you on your way back?
Yeah, I actually returned last week. As soon as like Halloween events kind of started, I was like, "Oh, I got to jump back in." So, collecting candy, been growing pumpkins. So, but then after watching this direct, I am super excited. The Happy Home was something that they had in like the previous like DS. I believe it was a DS that I got Happy Home, or was it Wii? But it's the same kind of concept of like essentially the little Animal Crossing creatures will ask, that they want a home designed in a particular fashion. So it's your job to, make sure you meet the requirements and then do other little design elements for the little character to live in. So I like this edition and the way they've done it. You kind of like, you go and fly over to this island and you work for this company, the Paradise Planning, and they'll have like clients, and you have a sit down with them and talk to them about what they want and what their needs are, and then
So
you go
cute.
and you pick all these different like environments and all these other little things, and it's so cute. And they've now added all these other little extra design things where you can add like lighting like in the roof, and then you can change the colors, and then you can have like wall fixtures and different level benching and new additional items like the froggy chair, which they didn't actually announce. It was just there. And so everyone else kind of went, hang on a second. And so I'm actually excited for the Happy Home Paradise. It's my kind of jam. I love designing stuff for the little creatures and critters. So I'm looking forward to it. I think
I love
like it.
me a like a home builder or a house flipper game. Like there's so many of those games out these days, and I love watching real life reality shows about that stuff too. So I'm like, like I haven't watched this announcement. It was just happening just as I was like, I need to go to sleep.
It was bad time.
It's like 1 a.m. But reading this through and talking to you about it, I'm like, is this going to be the little nudge that's going to get me back to my island and see how much, what kind of state of disrepair it's in for one, and who's left?
Yeah, though luckily most of them stay. When I came back, I had so much weeding to do. There was weeds everywhere. Everyone gave me a lot of grief. The best was I totally forgot that there was a way that I tricked the game into letting my creatures call me bitch. So like everyone was like, "Where have you been, bitch?" I'm like, you know what? That's fair. That's totally fair.
Justified.
It's totally justified. That's totally fair. So yeah, there's a lot of weeding and everything like that to do. But also with all this new content, they've really taken in the amiibos and like bringing that in, so you can bring in your other little like characters if you have like the little amiibo cards. They're also going to release another pack with maybe some new characters in there as well. So you can build homes for like Timmy and Tommy. They can have a request to have the holiday home, so you can build for them. And it seems like they've been really like for the most part, a lot of people complained about the content that Animal Crossing has come out with being pretty mediocre, whether it's like a few new items or a very small event. So it seems like this is essentially like what they were leading up to.
Yeah, it's the big ultimate payoff. But maybe when this drops, maybe I'll come back and see what my island's like and see what kind of anarchy is going to be there. Maybe they've gone full Lord of the Flies, and I get back there and it's just sort of primitive warfare going on between all my my islander friends. They're all trying to take me and put me on a pitch, like put me on one of them pikes, my head on a pike for just being so neglectful to their needs in the island. So we'll see.
I'll have to see.
We'll see. And the last bit of news, I titled this one, Insert Steve Carell, Oh God, Please No GIF Here. So anyone that's been on the internet knows the one from The Office, poor old Steve Carell, breaking down in a big way because this bit of news, a Fortnite feature film is being considered as part of plans for a new Epic Games entertainment division. The move into scripted video programming was reported initially by The Information. That is a website. That's not just me saying it's The Information. That's actually a place or a hub, and comes as Epic's revenues have been hit by its inability to expand further on iPhones and Android devices. A push into the entertainment sector would bolster Epic's coffers, and a Fortnite movie has reportedly already been discussed. A trio of top Lucasfilm employees have joined Epic Games this year, including the film studio's former VP of physical production, Jason McGatlin. McGatlin now serves as president of Epic's mysterious Special Projects division. Previously, he acted as an executive producer on all of Disney's recent Star Wars films. Lynn Batasht, head of business affairs, and Chris Furia, vice president of production finance, are also ex-Lucasfilm. Fortnite already includes countless characters from numerous film and TV franchises, as well as a bulging roster of its own fan favorite heroes recognizable via toys and other merchandise. Fortnite's own complex storyline has so far spanned more than a dozen seasons, with increasingly elaborate live events, cutscenes, and campaign snippets. It has also welcomed a canonical Marvel crossover in-game and told a chunk of story via an official Batman comic series. So, Miss Hart, I don't think anyone, or at least anyone on this podcast, is screaming out for a Fortnite movie, but it sounds like we might get one. Okay.
I like, obviously I don't care and I will have no interest in watching one, but now coming to think of it, it's actually quite surprising how long it's actually taken for them to kind of take this kind of step, because like, you remember Angry Birds? Angry Birds has cartoons, it has movies, and then I'm like, you know what? It makes perfectly good sense why Fortnite wouldn't have already done this sort of stuff. The way that Fortnite is designed, like the character design and models and the environment, it definitely wouldn't be difficult to take that and like turn that into like an animated series or an animated movie. Like, I feel like it's all just there. Like it would definitely work. So I'm surprised it's actually taken this long.
I think you bang on the money. You think they would have had this out 6 months after this game blew up when it first did. You know, it went into the solar system as far as popularity and notoriety goes. But I'm not surprised by this. I'm not very excited by this. But you know what? With recent video game to big screen adaptations, maybe they can do something that's passable. You know, like you mentioned Detective Pikachu on a couple of podcasts ago when we were talking about the Mario Brothers animated film. Obviously, the Sonic movie wasn't too bad. We've got a sequel of that coming. So maybe if they do lean into if they make this CGI, like if they do this live action, I don't have a ton of faith.
Oh, they wouldn't do live action.
Yeah, but if it's a full animated show, I just want them to avoid like the Jumanji copy-paste formula where it's like, you know, young kids turn on the game, get sucked into the game and control these characters. Like, none of that kind of trope, please, but make this work somehow.
I still think it has to be like kind of like Crazy Birds. Like, is that what it's called?
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, that's it, thank you. I'm sounding like an old person. I'm sounding like an old person more as time goes by. I blame the sickness. Like if you keep the characters pretty generic and true to their original form, like Fortnite has a very standard, like a base group of characters that people would associate with the game. So they could just make them running characters. They could do simple TV series for kids, like, and just like regurgitate like very simple storylines and such like that, and they can
just have random crossovers from some of the notable skins that have appeared in there. So you could have a Marvel crossover or a DC crossover or Ripley from Aliens, whatever it is. You know, you could go a whole host of different ways, and yeah, maybe breaking it down into an animated TV series on a streaming service might be the smart way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I can't believe we're over here helping and being like, yeah, here's a great business idea for one of the biggest fucking games that's a big cash grab. This is a great way for them to make more money.
Epic, just don't leave us out of the credits, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, we've now done some participation. Put us in the credits.
That's it. Even if it's like, you know, lukewarm thanks goes too. I'll take that. I'll take some lukewarm thanks.
I'll take that icy cold thanks.
That's it. Give me some praise. Albeit as small as it might be, just give me something. But something else we're going to give you, and something that I'm very excited for, this was announced literally also as I was going to sleep last night.
Tweet of the week.
And this comes via way of @Xbox. And the tweet reads, "The moment you've all been waiting for. Pre-order begins for the Xbox Series X mini fridge on October 19th. So that'll be October 20th-ish for us here in the AU or the Southern Hemisphere. But mini fridge available to pre-order this week. And what surprised me, Miss Hart, is the goddamn price.
Yeah.
I was on the soapbox saying I'd burn up to $500 on one of these dumb things, but it's only $99.99 USD. So maybe it's going to be, let's say, $150 Australian to $200 if they want to try and inflate this thing even more, which I think's kind of respectable.
Yeah. I am actually quite surprised by the price. $100 is actually pretty decent. I'm sorry, I obviously don't sound like I'm fully convinced by it, but I think for collectors out there, I think for Xbox, Microsoft fans, I think for gaming fans in general, for this little bit of collector's item, I think that's a pretty good price actually. Like it's limited. They're not going to keep making it. It's, you know, I think that's fair. I think it looks great too. From what we see here from the promotional posts and such, it looks pretty decent. It looks nice. It doesn't look too much of an eyesore. So I know I definitely wouldn't have bought a PlayStation 5 fridge.
So many aggressive lines on it. You'd be able to fit one Twiggy stick in it because of the shape.
It's like, yeah, why do you have a giant hard drive? Like, so I think this is a good win for like Microsoft and gaming fans and collectors. So I'm actually not
I want one.
Put off.
I'm going to be pre-ordering one of these suckers this week, and I'm so excited. Christmas is coming early, listeners, for me. I am so excited.
Well, then I expect an unboxing.
Yeah, hashtag Xbox and chill. And I hope that it is very vibrantly lit internally with that sort of Xbox green.
Yeah, that's actually pretty... yeah, they'd have to. It should be easy, just putting a green globe in there.
Yeah. But $99.99 USD for the Xbox mini fridge, which I think is a steal. Maybe that's going to be one of my recommended gifts come the end of year Hungry Gamers extravaganza.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not, because they're going to be sold out. So
I was going to say...
buy them now.
Yeah, so warning.
Yeah, $99.99. I'm excited. I'm very happy. That price point... Something else is and you want to wait a little bit less to get your hands on some new exciting content.
New releases and events.
All right. No real events of note to highlight this week. Obviously, with COVID and things like that, it's still a lot of stay at home, a lot of lockdown, a lot of ISO, a lot of be careful, a lot of be smart, a lot of get vaccinated, do what you can. But podcasts, obviously, you're listening to THG 259 right now in your ear holes. We're going to have the Far Cry 6 spoiler cast. Just finished recording that last night, so it will be out too by the time you listen to this. So it'll be on the same THG RSS feed, so get that in your ears as well. As far as movies and TV and things, I've only just done a quick skim, but Malignant is officially in cinemas here in Australia this coming Thursday. I think it might already be out in the US.
It's been out for a while in the US.
Yeah, we're very far behind. We're the poor cousins.
Oh no,
but,
it's happened again.
Yeah, it happens far too often. But get excited. Malignant is getting really good reviews. I've got a copy of it. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to. And Lock and Key Season 2, which is another one of those comical graphic novel adaptations that was on Netflix. The first season, I really liked it. Second season drops this week as well. So that's coming out this week. As far as games that are dropping this week, we've got a little smattering. We've got Nuclear Blaze, Inscription, Into the Pit, Corpse Party, Grotto, Townscaper, Echo Generation, the Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes is the biggest one on that list for me. And I need to play it, but I'm probably going to be playing a bit of Back 4 Blood and watching anime, but I also want to play House of Ashes. So plenty of things to play and watch and listen to this week to keep you busy for the next 7 days or so, Miss Hart, yeah?
Yeah, so that's good. And as we hit into the Halloween season, you got to start lining up some spooky movies, and we got to, you got the Dark Pictures Anthologies, House of Ashes, which it's a spooky game generally. Like Dark Pictures usually, their games are kind of spooky, so we're going to hopefully start seeing a bit more of those spooky games.
Spooky games. Are we doing a spooky episode for Halloween? We got 2 weeks. We haven't really thought about it until just now, but it's something we usually do, right?
I was going to say, behind the curtain, listeners, this is usually us talking about episodes. I don't know. Do the listeners want a Halloween special? Do you like our Halloween specials? Or do you just prefer if we stay in line and talk about the news? Let us know.
Yeah. I think that's a good way. Hit us up on Discord. Hit us up on the socials, on the email. However you reach us, do that and say yay or nay. We'll chuck a poll up maybe. Maybe that's a good way to get a bit of voice of customer, a bit of gauge, a bit of temperature check, because we have fun doing those themed episodes. We've sort of planned out the back end with sort of our end of year stuff loosely. Yeah. We've got ideas on how that's all going to go. But we totally forgot about Halloween when we were talking about like what's the themed ones we've got for the rest of the year. We totally missed Halloween.
Totally forgot about the spooky season. So
yeah,
but
just
let us know.
Apologies, ghouls and goblins. If you are interested, be sure to hit us up on the socials and, respond to the polls and things we'll chuck up in the next couple of days because we've still got 2 weeks. We've got some time to make it happen. But
if you have
I
ideas,
need to know.
If you have ideas too, let us know. Like if there's something that you've wanted us to do in regards to the Halloween season, like if you want us not to talk about games, if you want us to just talk about movies, if you want us to talk about our favorite scary movies or TV shows or maybe Halloween experiences or what actually scares us in general, let us know.
Yeah, for
Doesn't
sure.
have to be games.
For sure, yeah. Whether you want, there's some people out there that do content in that space that you want us to try and bring on for a segment or do some crossover stuff with. Like, let us know this week because then we need to start planning it out very swiftly. But Miss Hart, that brings us to the end of another episode of The Hungry Game. Is there anything you wanted to say before we shut down this studio for another 7-ish days?
Yeah, there's a trailer for a movie called The Black Telephone or The Black Phone. It dropped today, which is Friday, so by the time you guys listen to this, you might have seen it already, but check it out. It's, I think, done by the same people with Sinister, which I think is a really good spooky movie, but this one looks pretty good. It's pretty interesting. I haven't even heard of that until just now, but when you mentioned Sinister, the underrated.
First Sinister film, very, very underrated. Ethan Hawke and his family finding all kinds of sketchy shit. He's a writer writing about horrific crimes and myths and things like that, and it's intense. It's a good film.
So good. I love anything with like found footage, like kind of elements to it. So yeah, but this one, The Black Telephone or The Black Phone.
Okay, I'm going to Google that just after this. But ATEBIT Nation, thanks for stopping on by the Hungry HQ for another episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We're going to be back for another world first with episode 260 next week, Miss Hart. But until then, ATEBIT Nation, much love.
And stay hungry and healthy.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
Lo and behold, Ethan Hawke is in The Black Telephone as well.
There you go. It's perfect then.
The thumbnails for the trailer look hectic. So listeners, get on this trailer right now. I'm going to check it out. Until next time.